Oh, well, hello, my wonderful, beautiful Bruscoon, wonderful, beautiful Brus guys of the Maverick Nation. This is a fan requested video. Basically, what if Izuku was Sukuna, I believe, from Jujutsu Kaisen? Yeah, I barely know anything about this. What I know about this Sukuna guy, Sukuna, is basically he can cut shit, shoot fireballs, and he has this ability to create this domain where he can just cut shit even more. And like he's supposed to be really strong. And that's my guess. Basically, the whole cutting shit, the whole fireball, the whole domain where he just cuts shit more. And I guess, being one of like the big bad dudes, he'd be really physically strong as well. Well, that's my extensive knowledge on Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. Hmm. This probably be like a movie because of the fact that I have so little interest in Jujutsu Kaisen that it's kind of painful how little interest I actually have in Jujutsu Kaisen. So this will probably only be like a movie, and then like one and done, basically. Basically, how I see this, what if Izuku was Sukuna? Starting, basically. I guess Izuku he would have like this quirk disorder to where he had like fire manipulation, but he also had this cutting ability, which he could advance on to like make it more advanced and more powerful. Like whenever he's 5, he figures out he has like a quirk disorder where it's like two different things. Like there's like a cutting part and there's like a fireball part. Because I know Sukuna can create fireballs. That's what he did in one of his fights that I heard about. Basically, the majority is, focused on the cutting aspect, but there is an aspect of this thing, which is what creates it, like turns it into a mutation. There's also the ability to use fire. It's a very limited ability, but you can still use it. And also, he seems to be very physically strong, even at a young age. So this is like a high tier mutation of like 2 to 3 different quirks that Inko and Hisashi end up figuring that he has. Basically, whenever Bakugo tries to bully him because Bakugo's just that way, he basically just gets a bunch of like cuts on him out of nowhere. Basically, Izuku put like him 2 seconds into his domain and then just like dejected him out. like 2 seconds in there and then just spit him out. Basically, whenever it comes to like the whole UA thing, I would actually think that due to it being a big old mutation, Izuku actually wouldn't get much love from anyone, and eventually he would just kind of become devoid of caring to the point to where his quirk actually, starts to backfire on the people around him, including his parents, which ends up getting them killed, and then Izuku's just on his own. Really not doing much. He's like at the age of like 10 whenever this happens. So there's just this really powerful 10-year-old who can shoot fireballs and cut you up a lot. And is also very physically strong. Basically has this triple layered mutation quirk that has like never been seen before. And basically, somebody would have found him already if he wasn't like really smart and knew how to hide. And eventually he just decides to exit all the way down into the criminal underworld, where he does, very odd jobs, just until he can build up his strength to be one-to-one with the heroes. He can finally, just walk amongst everyone else because the heroes can't stop him from doing whatever he wants because of his triple layer mutation quirk. That is just ridiculous. So basically, he's just doing odd jobs in the criminal underworld just until he can gain enough of his strength, basically everything that he can do, to the point to where he's just like this invincible, immovable wall. Like, unless he wants to move, you can't move him. Eventually, just over the years, all of the different odd jobs just add to his increased strength and basically all other attributes. Like, the more stuff he does, like, the better he gets. Until he is literally a wall of just WTF-ness. And eventually, like, Aizawa, Ryuku, and Mirko end up getting, like, turned into, like, a 3-man squad team to just be sent after him. And, they end up getting near there, but basically, whenever Mirko starts trying to do her bunny kick thing, where she, uses her powerful kicks, he basically just kind of like tango swerves her into like part of a wall and then blasts that part of the wall with a fireball. So basically, he roasted toasted Mirko, and Ryuku gets pissed, turns into her dragon form, and Izuku just dismantles by being so fast and so strong that kind of just picks her apart without her even being able to see him move. And Aizawa basically tries to cancel out his quirk, but he can't figure out which quirk to cancel because it's such a big, jumbled up piece of Yahoo-ness that he's having to deal with. And so basically, Izuku would take this time, this time where Aizawa was confused, to just plop him in his domain where Aizawa would get shredded and basically be left as like a scarecrow on like the campus of UA, like get hung up there in the middle of all the metal. Just hung up there as kind of like an example. Izuku would keep on doing this. Like, the more heroes he kept on doing this to, the stronger he got. Like, the more stuff he did, like, the more of a presence he gained. Until eventually it was All Might and Endeavor. They had to settle their differences in order to, basically, along with the help of the army, fight off Izuku. And Izuku could just send, like, the weapons of the army into his domain and have them shredded. And even, like, blow up, like, some of the mid-range projectiles as they were coming towards him with fireballs, creating such giant explosions that it would kill several people in the vicinity. Basically every single member of the army that was trying to go at him. Just a storm of fire and whatever the hell they were trying to shoot him with. And so he would just basically burn the army to a crisp. And so it would only be Endeavor and All Might left, and really he couldn't use, like, Izuku wouldn't be able to use his fireballs against Endeavor because Endeavor basically has the thing where he can't be, damaged by flames all that much. And so Endeavor will just try to suppress any of Izuku's power that he tries to exert out in any of his moves with his fire. Basically suppress the physical prowess with something like external. Basically, so Izuku's getting pushed back because of something that he kind of can't control. And All Might basically would just go up into Izuku's face and hit him with a 100% smash. Basically sending him flying, but there would be like a storm of flares, like several fireballs raining down, basically suffocating Izuku while suppressing his power, because none of his strength can really, withstand this kind of external fire. It's not normal fire, it's like an external fire that's, different than anything he's ever experienced before. So he can't even focus because he's getting smoked out and burned at the same time. He can't even use his own fire against this because it will all just, melt out together. And make an even worse explosion on him. So he's getting smoked out and burned by Endeavor, and All Might just keeps on batting him around. And, anytime he tries to go for a hostage, he just gets tripped up by All Might, because All Might would just appear out of nowhere. And even Mirio, with his permeation quirk, would kind of dance around Izuku as he was trying to bat All Might away. And even, come up sometimes, sometimes behind him, sometimes in front of him, and go power! And then just knock him around. And finally, Izuku would kind of be, suppressed completely. Because, even Mirio would, show up. So it would be 3 people he was fighting. And so finally he would just get snuffed out. Until the point where he would just decide that he wasn't going to go to prison, so he would just use all of his power on himself in one big blast. And this one big blast, All Might would kind of 100% punch Mirio out of the way. And he would take the full brunt of the blast. and Endeavor would actually shoot some fire to try to quell the blast a little. It would only like half the damage that All Might would be getting hit with. And so basically, the blast would end up killing All Might, but Muriel would, tell Serenidai that basically he would, carry on in All Might's legacy and all that shit. And Endeavor, seeing as Muriel's quite not ready yet, would be exclaimed to be the number one hero, and basically, like, Mirio would be like a protege under Serenidai, as, like, he was kind of getting back in the swing of things. Serenidai even being able to, like, tell them that he wasn't fast enough to get to them, but that he did see this coming because of his quirk. He just wasn't fast enough. And, he believes because of the fact that he wasn't fast enough, All Might had to pay the price. So basically, with their main symbol of peace gone, and Endeavor trying to fill in the cracks, and basically Mirio doing his best to train to, one day make up for the hole that's the power vacuum that's there with the loss of All Might. And Serenidai doing his damnedest to help Mirio with said training. And this is basically how I feel that it should probably go. With not all that much of knowledge of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I really don't feel like learning too much about Jujutsu Kaisen because usually whenever I'm forced to get learned about something, it just takes the wind out of my sails. And I'm on a roll here, guys. If you haven't noticed, I'm on a roll here with content. Keep on pushing out content. And so if I get the wind taken out of my sails whenever I'm doing this, it kind of just messes up everything, messes up my entire mojo. And I don't want to discourage people from giving me suggestions. It's just, you guys gotta be able to accept that some things I'm not going to be as learned in, and, not know as much in. Like, you guys should probably know, like, any long-time viewers would probably know what I know about right now. Like, there's Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, even though I'm not really all that ecstatic about doing anything super related. But, if it's there, I'll think about it. And then there's like Naruto, and Naruto, Boruto, whatever. And there's Zatch Bell, which I haven't really touched all that much in a while on my one Zatch Bell What If. But, I get to things whenever I get to things. It just takes a while with all the shit I have on my plate. It just takes a while for me to get to things. And some things I just get the wind taken out of my sails. And I just don't feel like doing it anymore. Which Zatch Bell isn't one of those things, which I get the wind taken out of my sails very easily, because I freaking adore Zatch Bell. I really wish that, like, the last 100, 150 episodes were stuck in Japanese or freaking Hindi. Wish there was freaking English dub version, so I didn't have to read the freaking, like, linguicity of, like, the freaking series. I know how it freaking ends, but Jesus Christ, I mean, come on. What the hell was so bad about Zatch Bell, which you couldn't finish the English dub? What was so bad that you couldn't finish the English dub? I mean, come on, man. That's just not cool. But on subject of other stuff I know about Inuyasha, Not much, but I do know about Inuyasha somewhat. And if anybody's going to want to, ask me to do anything Cowboy Bebop related, that's ouch. And I also know about Death Note. I'm actually planning on doing something Death Note related in the future. I don't exactly think in the near future, but somewhere in the future, like sometime in the future, doing something Death Note related. And I know about Kuroko no Basket, but that's only because of a certain video. And I really don't know much else except for the fact that the one reference they did to Kuroko no Basket was freaking hilarious. And there's also Anime House. They did their whole thing. You have to deal with Kuroko no Basket. But don't really ask me to do any Kuroko no Basket what ifs. If anybody would ever do that, I feel sorry for them because I would have to reject them hard. And also, no Attack on Titan. Please, God, no Attack on Titan. I mean, I like the theme song, like the da 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 da. I like that. I will admit I like the theme song. The one that goes da 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 da. I really do like the theme song. And, the whole Colossal Titan's pretty freaking dope as shit. But not much else. Like the uniforms that some of the people wear, like the green shit on the uniforms. I think that's pretty sweet too. Like Jacksepticeye has one of those. And if any of you guys ever want me to do in the future, do what ifs based off of create characters based off of YouTube personas, like Antisepticeye or Darkiplier or anything like that, maybe I'd be interested. But I'm just saying. I'm basically trying to look for stuff that, I wouldn't be in the zone to do, or stuff that I would be in the zone to do. I'm surprised not many more people asked me to do anything about Elfen Lied. There was this one person who was, I believe commented on the Elfen Lied video and said they didn't know the anime. Which, considering it's a German anime, I mean, I'm not exactly too surprised that they didn't know about it. But damn, Elfen Lied Lithium, or whatever the frick it's called, Lilium. That the... I even like the music box version. It is so freaking perfect. I also really like the character of Lucy. Just the whole clone thing, and plus the head thing that she wears, one scene where everybody shooting and people are getting their limbs blown off, that's the shit. And I'm surprised people also, the one Godzilla what if I do and nobody asks about anything else, maybe Gamera or Rodan or Mothra. Nobody asked me to do any sort of kaiju what if. I might even be into War of the Gargantuas if I could think of a storyline, possibly. And there's even like the Jet Jaguar's own fighter, and I even have the Ultraman What If, which I kind of plan to get into sometime in the future. Just like with my Zatch Bell What If. I plan to get into it sometime into the future, like whenever everything isn't so damn chaotic. Because, guys, you have no idea how much stuff I have on my plate. Like, that is unless you want to look like an extensive look through my channel to see how many different what ifs I have. And there are just so many damn what ifs. And also other projects that I'm, going through. Guys, I'd also like one thing. I know it's very new and only like 3 episodes in because I'm an idiot. But hey, something I would like to get more attention, even though it like just now started, would be the Creep Show, something that I've been working on. It actually has a lot of different stuff like Constantine, Creepypasta, My Hero Academia, Naruto, even the freaking Teen Titans. That's kind of like connected with Constantine since they're both DC properties. And there's even like freaking Batman shit. Like, but that's also a DC property, and also Robin, the leader of the Teen Titans, is like Batman's number 2. Like his like second banana. Oh my god, bad creepypasta. Sometimes you can be so damn brilliant, sometimes you can be so damn, just pissing me off. Like sometimes you're brilliant, sometimes you piss me off. But hey, that's just because of the person who I am. Oh, and I'm also surprised not as many Pokemon, because Pokemon is ridiculously popular. So, not that many different things like, people wanting me to do more of the freaking Naruto Pokemon crossover. I haven't gotten really that many requests about continuing that or what to do with that or, sometimes whenever you guys have just suggestions about what to do with the series. Like, it doesn't have to be an entire what if in general, just like suggestions about what to do, like advice. I'll accept advice if I think it's good advice. I mean, sometimes I'm just stubborn. I can't help it. I will admit, sometimes I'm just stubborn and think that certain stuff wouldn't gel as well if it was in a certain series. But there are some times where I will accept advice. And sometimes there are just some times where I freaking just like steal something off of something that somebody else has done. Like with quietly, like basically fusing the Genjutsu and the Shinkatsu Naku what ifs like together, like fusing them together. And basically taking a shit ton of elements from those. But God forbid I be able to be flexible with what I do. Like, for those of you that haven't noticed, Jack Skellington. And what this shirt actually says. Sarcasm. One of my many gifts to you. Sarcasm, one of my many gifts to you. Which, I won't lie. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Sometimes I can be that way. But that's only because, sometimes I just get tired with the world and, feel like my own little Grinchy self. Just feel like, screw you, world, I'm gonna be in my own way, and you're not gonna tell me otherwise. Sometimes I'm just like that. Like, I like, to throw around shit. Just be myself. And I really hated that sometimes people aren't even allowed to be themselves. It's a really sucky world we live in where people get scrutinized for freaking being themselves. And sometimes people, whenever they be themselves, they're complete assholes, which, not everyone's going to be freaking like Cinderella whenever she's going to the ball. Not everyone's going to be the patron freaking saint. But, some people just need to vent, and some people are just natural born assholes. Not everyone's the same, and not everyone is perfect. A little perfect angel, and not everyone is an absolute dick. It's just, it takes all kinds, is what I'm trying to say, guys. It takes all kinds. We can't all just be one kind. It takes all kinds. No matter how many people want to tell you that their opinion is the only right opinion, and everyone else is just like stupid. I admit, sometimes I get a little righteous. I get a little righteous sometimes. But I never go to the extreme that my opinion is the only right opinion. Because, in all truth with you guys, I'm going to be real with you guys for a second. Nobody's opinion is the right opinion. I am just going to voice that straight right now. Nobody's opinion is the right opinion. Because they're opinions, they're not facts. And people just have to live with that. The sooner people learn to live with that, the whole factoid of the fact that nobody's opinion is the right opinion, not even theirs, the sooner people learn to live with that, the sooner we get to a better world. And I am literal wind out of my sails. I'm just gonna have to think for a while after getting this out. Because damn, I got wind out of my sails. Anyways, Dev says,